Welcome into the Cowboys Report, made possible today by Roan. We'll tell you all about their premium clothing, but you can get 20% off your first order by going to roan.com/chatsports and using code chatsports. We're talking Deion Sanders on today's show because how can we not begin today's video with anything other than an in-depth look at the first name, really more truly linked in terms of mutual interest beyond source candidates and whatnot there. I think there is a lot to unpack here. And I think part of that is how real this one actually is. There's absolutely elements of it that are real and elements that, I don't want to call it conspiracy theory, but we're not that far away from it. Before we get to that, do you want Coach Prime as the next Dallas Cowboys head coach? Why for yes and for no? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. So first, the news as it broke kind of late last night, right in the middle of an NFL playoff game and dominated the cycle immediately. Go figure, right? Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders have spoken about the Cowboys job, first reported by Jordan Schultz. However, no interview at this time has been set up. And I will make note, the reporting, especially in terms of what I think came from the Cowboys side, was absolutely identical along the way. Every single outlet from Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Todd Archer, every single one had almost the exact same verbiage, which means it all came from the same high-ranking Cowboys source. It was some variation of Jerry Jones and the Cowboys discussed the role with Deion Sanders, yes, but there's no interview scheduled. There's some mutual interest. These two sides will stay in contact. A little suspect to me, actually, that everything was the exact same, which you normally get when, there's a signing or something. And the contract details, of course, are all the same. Now, what is noteworthy is that Deion Sanders then also talking to Adam Schefter, saying to hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang and process and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and the coaches and everything about our team, our student body, and the community. I'll give Coach Prime credit. That is the perfect, I said a lot without saying anything. That is the, I'm not committing either way. We'll see if an interview happens. We'll see. It's Jerry. I love the Cowboys. I love Jerry, but I'm very happy at Colorado. You can read it however way you want to read it, as an outright denial or a we'll see. Heck, you can just ignore half of the quote either way and believe he's coming to Dallas, believe he's coming to Colorado. Deion knows the game. Part of what makes him such a damn good coaching option in the collegiate level. More to come, of course, on this, but hypothetically, if the Cowboys were to hire Deion Sanders as a head coach, grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section at the pinned comments of today's show. The ad comes here on YouTube. Now, there are worse options. We will talk about what we previously planned to talk about, Jason Witten and stuff tomorrow, which we mentioned all this stuff before on the Cowboys Report. None of this should come as a surprise if you've watched all of our shows. I don't want to be all circus all the time. I think you're already far too much of that. I don't need a hype man or an attention getter. Colorado does. I mean, no one cared about Colorado football until Deion Sanders arrived. That makes him incredibly valuable, especially with the results he gets at the collegiate level. It doesn't really make him nearly as valuable in the NFL. And that's one of my main issues here, is not only do I question Deion's fit in the NFL, Jerry Jones has questioned Deion's fit in the NFL. Deion Sanders has questioned his fit in the NFL. Deion said this before, I don't have any desire or ambition to coach in the NFL. I got a problem with men getting their checks and not doing their jobs. I'd be too tough as a coach in the NFL because I still have those old school attributes. The things that Deion, and I think frankly objectively, does great. Because I think if you don't like Deion as a college coach, I kind of think you're just being a hater. Maybe that's me being a bit of a homer because Deion's my all-time favorite player. But it's worked. People care about Colorado now. The things Deion does so well, like getting kids to want to play at Colorado, at Jackson State, doesn't really translate, though, to the NFL. And Jerry, by the way, has said similar stuff as well. We'll come back to more on this here. But today's show is made possible by Roan. I'm rocking one of the polos, and It's important, especially in the maybe not great weather conditions, to A, look good without wanting to have to think about it, save yourself some time there, and elevate whatever occasion you're in. The signature technical fabrics stretch and in every direction, breathe, fight odor and the elements, and effortlessly work everywhere so you can stay calm and collected even when life takes unexpected turns, or a Cowboys coaching search that I have been told will quote-unquote turn my hair gray. It was going to take a lot of unexpected turns. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But the Roan Commuter Collection gets you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS. Time to embody your most confident self. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Now, despite Deion's previous denials of wanting to coach in the NFL, there's been one thing that both he outright said and also Michael Irvin heavily said after talking to Deion. Well, if Deion could coach his kids in the NFL, that's when he would start to have some more interest. Deion has opened the door to coaching not just Shedeur, but also Shiloh. Now, Shiloh's not an issue. Shiloh's not going to be a premium pick. You can get him. That's not going to be a problem. The problem becomes Shedeur Sanders, because Shedeur Sanders to Dallas simply doesn't make any sense. Don't let anyone try to, whether it's rage bait or clickbait or engagement bait you otherwise. Shedeur doesn't make any sense at Dallas. A, how are you going to get him? You're not picking top 10. And in a bad quarterback class, I think Shedeur goes top 5. In fact, I have him as my number 1 QB. I do like Shedeur Sanders. There's no chance in hell, because it makes no fiscal sense, no on-field sense either, to move on from Dak Prescott right now. If you trade Dak Prescott, don't even get me started on the cut. You can't cut him. You trade Dak Prescott right now, you have a $103 million cap hit. That is nearly double what his cap hit will be when you line up on the field in 2025. If we're going to complain, which I think is probably not right given the amount of cap hits you can have this year, about Dak's contract, you want to double the cap hit? And also get worse on the field at the same time? And then you're getting whatever you get in a trade, but you're also going to move up for Shedeur Sanders, so you're not going to get the same level of boost to your drafts. What are we doing here? Maybe if you didn't already pay Dak Prescott and you had a top 5 pick, this I think would have a lot more legs. That's why the Raiders had been mentioned for Deion Sanders previously, because both of those things are a little bit more feasible. They're closer and they don't have the quarterback at all, because Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are not serious answers whatsoever. Now, we are very much not done with this Cowboys coaching search. And, you haven't even done one interview yet. And I think there's a lot of names still to come. So we will keep you covered. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/CowboysTV. Underrated issue, by the way, is the money. We know this. Jerry Jones is cheap. He don't want to pay money. He's about incentive-based contracts and didn't want to give Mike McCarthy big money. Deion's got a reported $8 million buyout. I do want to mention, by the way, this is the buyout if he leaves for a new job, not if he's fired. Sometimes you see buyouts get conflated on that front. Now, it shouldn't be, but it is an issue for Jerry Jones. He doesn't want to pay a buyout. He is already thinking he spends too much money on coaches. He made that pretty clear publicly, frankly. Think he wants to pay $8 million to Deion and then also pay him $8 million per year? Deion ain't taking no pay cut. About to get a big offer from Colorado, which, by the way, I think is also a factor here. The timing of this entire thing is not an accident, because the Cowboys, as much as I hate them for this, they're very good at this. Maybe you shouldn't want to be good, but they are good at it. Deion has a new contract offer from Colorado. Hasn't signed it yet. What better leverage exists out there in the universe than the Dallas Cowboys to get a little bit more money from Colorado? What better leverage exists? And if we really want to get deep into the conspiracy theories, my boy Jeff Kavanaugh pointed out, Jordan Schultz broke this news. Do you know who shares a marketing agency with Deion Sanders? Just so happens to be Jordan Schultz. And just so happens that Jordan Schultz is the only one who has claimed Deion's a top candidate in Dallas. Some of the local reporters said, no, he's not really a top candidate. I don't even know if he's a candidate. That's what Nick Harris said, and I actually trust Nick Harris a lot. Everyone else has been, mutual interest, we'll see. By the way, Jerry gets to love the attention. He loves it. I do not believe it is an accident that he is the first name linked. Because what better way to lead ESPN for days on end than getting yourself linked to Coach Prime, maybe the biggest name in college football. Come on. They're good at this, and it annoys me. What is the % chance that Deion Sanders is the next Cowboys head coach? Honest answers for me in the comment section of today's show. Again, I will make note, a lot of the established local reporters have kind of been like, I don't buy this. Although, it is Jerry. And I hate that I have to say it this way. You never say never with Jerry. It's Jerry. He does stuff sometimes. The interest angle doesn't surprise me. You can go back and scrub through our live show. I'm like, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. An interview wouldn't shock me. Both sides get attention. Both sides get what they want. You fill the Rooney Rule a little bit. I think there is a real chance an interview actually never gets set up, and they never have the full on sit down. That's why people were like, he already denied him. Offer the job denied. No, how this works, guys. Come on. Jerry gets to dominate ESPN all day. Turn on your programming. Every single major sports talking head show is going to talk Deion Sanders and why it's a great idea, why it's a horrible idea. Hell, Jerry Jones got to dominate the news cycle in the middle of an NFL playoff game. Now, it's a bad playoff game, but honestly, I think Sam Darnold should write Jerry Jones a check. No one's talking about Sam Darnold anymore. I would even take, I'll take this early prediction, which maybe I look stupid or not. I would bet names get kind of staggered and leaked. You know, they let the Deion one play out. They had another name or two. Another name or two. And then even like, you really want to go in the weeds, the normal names just all get leaked at once. And like the big names, like the Jason Witten interview gets leaked on its own, and that becomes a storyline. And because they're good at this. And they know they have to wait, and they can't really rush through things, so it has to be a longer process. Deion's just the first name. A lot more, and I think a lot more realistic ones are going to come next.